Hi, we're back and we're at the seaside and we're going to be comparing the Fimi X8 Mini with the Mini 2 on video quality. So let's get into it. Okay, so we've got the Fimi Mini. Here it is. You can see it's the real drone. Just turn my camera around so I can see what's going on. But yeah, you can see it's the real Fimi X8 Mini. I know a lot of people have been doing fake videos, but this is a real one. We're going to be trying it against the Mini 2. And hopefully it's not as sunny a day as we had last time, which is a bit of a shame. Unfortunately, in Britain, you tend to get 2 sunny days together every sort of 500 or 600 years. So today's a little bit sunny, but it's just not as sunny as before. So I've got the drone all set up. We're set up in 4K. Let's have a look. We're in 4K 30, hopefully. In high, we've got. We probably will go into HDR mode, but we can probably we'll do it with normal mode first. So let's start recording on the drone, and I want to do a takeoff. Okay, there we go. And basically, there we go. It's looking good. Whoa, spinning around a bit. Probably try to bring it down a bit. See if you can see that on the camera. It's definitely not holding its position as well as a Mini 2 would do. But for this price, you can't really complain too much. But there we go, look. Basically just not holding its position. Probably due to the fact that I had so many problems with my compass. Which hopefully in a firmware fix will be fixed. Right, so let's go up and hopefully we can take a look over the beach. And let's see, right, so we're going to go up, a bit of height. Okay, so we're going to be up above people. And then what we want to do is drop that camera down a bit. And then we're going to go forward over the beach area. Try and come out over this way, and what we're going to try and do is compare how the footage looks against that of the Mini 2. So let's see how it goes. This is 4K 30. Still looking a bit tilted, the horizon, might be wind, but it's not that bad a day really for wind. So let's see how we get on. Okay, so moving out down the beach, no problems so far. Sort of look towards there, look towards Cleethorpes. So we're in Cleethorpes, in case you were wondering, which is like a little sort of seaside town in the north of England. But here we go, we'll look over this beach. There's not too many people at the beach today, so that's pretty good. We're not getting any breakup in the FPV, so we're just going down the beach. We'll go down to the pier and then come back. There we go, see how well we can do with this battery actually. Yeah, so basically it seems to be flying pretty well. It's a bit sunny today, so the sun's actually got a bit better while we've been talking. So let's just see if we get some nice footage from this. I was really impressed with the footage in the last video. Right, so we're a meter down, we're a kilometre down the beach and it is still connected. I don't see any breakup in the FPV at the moment. So that's pretty good. We did a test like this previously where we took like the Fimi X8 SE and a few other drones down the beach to see what kind of footage we got from that. One thing to note on this drone that I'm really liking as well is we're not seeing propellers in shot. Now what happened with the X8 SE a lot was that you would be kind of getting propellers in shot all the time, you know, when you were turning. So this is a really good thing that this drone doesn't have that issue. So just basically turning down towards the sea, try and go right round so we get like a nice view of everything and different sort of angles to see what the sun does to the camera lens. There we go, yeah. Okay, yeah, looking good. It's Right, yep, looking good. Right, I'm going to go full round one more time, and then what I might do is come back and then switch into HDR mode and try out HDR. Alright, so let's just get a view around of everywhere. Try and drop the camera down a little bit. What does that do? Does that make any difference? So just keep coming around. Yeah, just to give you an idea what the picture quality was like, because it was just so lovely in the park yesterday. I thought it was really amazing picture quality. I couldn't believe how good this camera was, really. And the colour differences between that and the X8 SE 2020, which, you know, for me always looked a bit golden, but this is just really good. So right, so we come back down the beach, back down to where we are, and then hopefully we can try with a HDR on. So basically come back and see what the footage looks like with HDR. But yeah, this is primarily a video quality video, so we're going to focus on what the video quality differences are between the Mini 2 and the Fimi X8 Mini. So I've got both with me, and I'll do a flight of this, and hopefully we can make good use of the battery. Hopefully you're getting some nice views back as we go back along the beach. It's hard to tell because the screen's quite sort of difficult to see. You kind of need a really bright screen if you can get one. This phone, it's not the brightest, but it's been a very reliable drone phone. It's a Xiaomi Mi 9T Pro, I think. Right, yeah, so I'm flying it back towards me, and then hopefully we can get a good sort of, hopefully we can do the same thing again with HDR. Hopefully the battery will hold out enough for us to go up and down the beach twice, and then we can compare that alongside the footage from the from the Mini 2 and see what the differences are. Might not be as easy to see for me until we get this home and we can see the footage. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set it to return to home. Okay, so I'm going to get it to return to home, and then it will come back. We'll probably get a little test of the precision landing because we've got the landing pad out, and then let's see if when we take it back up with HDR that changes any of the quality. See if we get better like footage from that, but you know, I don't know if it'll be that different, but let's see. So it's coming back over to us now. I can see it up there. It's doing quite well. Yeah, it's coming back over us now. So I'm going to stand back from the pad. Hopefully we'll be able to get 2 times out of this. Battery's down to 65%, so just going up there and down the beach has basically taken away 35% of the battery, so don't know what that tells us, but that's probably okay. Right, so it's definitely looking for its landing pad, so we know we've got all that turned on, we know we've got precision landing on, so let's see it come down. I'm hoping no sort of like friendly Jack Russells kind of run across, and because we've had a dog come along and nick Emily's sandwich out of her hand already, so when we were setting up. But let's see how we get on. Right, so it's coming down. It's definitely looking for that drone pad. I mean, this is a really good feature to have. The Mini 2 doesn't have it. I think it's a really good feature, really. Oh, hang on. One thing I've noticed with this drone is that it doesn't always know when it's landed. So it was sort of doing a bit of grass cut in there. Doesn't seem to be any issues on the blades. Pretty happy. It's not done any damage. There's nothing particularly bad around here, but if we were out behind us, then I think you would have had some nasty sort of thick grass. So yeah, that's a couple of times it hasn't landed perfectly on the actual pad, but it's not too bad. So I think we're okay, but yeah, just be mindful of that. Right, it's turned off the recording for us. We'll now switch it back into HDR. Doing the recording. In fact, let's just stop that. Let's just make an absolute belt and braces check that it hasn't put it back into medium. There's one thing on the Fimi drones is they can switch, like between sessions, they'll switch back into medium, which is very frustrating. And it doesn't seem like they fixed it on this drone either. So Okay, let's turn that on. Let's get the recording going. Right, we're at 61% battery. So I'm predicting we'll get down the beach again and probably back, and that'll be that. So I'm going to turn it towards the beach, go up again to sort of a similar sort of height. I think we're around about 47, 48 sort of meters. So let's go up a bit. Okay, 50 meters, that's probably about right. Okay, so let's go forward and let's see how we get on. Basically going out across the beach again, then doing a bit of a turn around and have a look around the beach and just see what we get, see what the picture quality is. But yeah, very impressed with the range. It went down the beach, no problems. We got like a kilometre down there, so pretty good range really for this drone. So yeah, pretty happy with that. There we go. So yeah, the idea is to basically this video is to compare it with a Mini 2 and see what we get. Now I'll try and do like the same flight each time, but it may not be possible to get exactly the same because of course could have used the waypoints feature with this, but the Mini 2 doesn't have the waypoints feature, so that's a bit of an issue. So another feature that you're getting on the Fimi X8 Mini that you don't get on the Mini 2. So we've tested the precision landing. It was mostly precise, but we don't really want to put it up against the Mini 2 on those things because it's not really a fair test because the Mini 2 can't do them. Although we live in hope that a firmware update will cover that. Yeah, so right, so we're heading down the beach and we're getting a nice look over the seafront, and we're going to go down to the pier again and turn around again and do a full turn and try and see what the camera looks like, and then we'll do the same thing with the Mini 2 when this battery has probably been used up, and see how we get on. Okay, right, so we're getting near the pier now. Yeah, it's going over a kilometre down and no problems at all. So what I want to do is get so it's sort of scientific as possible. We'll get near that pier and then we'll turn round. So okay, so I'm going to go round now, have a good look around, just sort of spin round a bit, probably pick the camera up a bit, just spin round again and see what we're getting. Drop the camera down, try and get different angles, see what this picture quality looks like. Okay, yeah, it's looking good out over the beach. So yep, spin round. So this is in HDR, whether it will make much of a difference, I don't know. But let's see how we get on. Okay, so back round. Okay, so now I'm going to come back round and then I'm gonna turn back and head back, and we've got 40% battery, so it will probably start complaining about the battery shortly. So alright, so we're spinning around. I don't know what this footage is looking like because it's hard to sort of see on the screen how good it might be to use, so just want to come back that direction a bit. Right, head it back down the beach. The tide's out, I think, so basically there's not many people. There shouldn't be many people on that beach anyway. I think it'll be quite wet there, so we're staying back from people basically on the seashore there if we can. Right, so we'll head it back towards us and see what we get. So yeah, and then we'll do exactly the same thing with the Mini 2, and then we'll see what the footage looked like against. I'll have to basically edit into the video later on tonight and see what the differences were. So right, so it's heading back. Now I'm still seeing tilted horizons. Of course, it might be a bit windier here at the beach, as we've got like a kind of crosswind, which probably makes sense that it would be kind of behaving the way it is based on the tilt. So yeah, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to set it to return to home now. Okay, let's get it to return, and hopefully we'll have another go at the precision landing and see if that has improved. But maybe the HDR will improve it landing. I don't think so. I think it uses cameras underneath basically to to look for the landing pad, which is pretty cool. So if you had like something like an original Xeno that used the main camera for its precision landing, so then you had to it would look down and look for the camera, you know, would look down and look for the pad, sorry. But with this, there's a dedicated camera, we think, underneath that will be looking for this, but at least I believe it is. Let's see what happens when it gets back. But I think it does. I think it does, because last time I don't think it picked up the, I don't think it dropped the camera down in order to look for it. So yeah, the big sort of telling thing would be it would drop its camera down and it would start looking for that pad. So I don't think it's done that, and I don't think it will do that. So let's just see as it comes back to us. Be too far away now. Yeah, I can hear it coming back to me. I can see it pretty clearly. There we go. Yeah, so that's the other thing, because it's quite a white drone. I think, you know, will it show up in the sky as well as something like the Mini? I don't know if it will. So you know, certainly in bright sunshine, it's probably not as easy to pick up. So right, it is coming down. It is looking for its pad. Let's see how it gets on with it in HDR mode, trying to film at the same time as trying to find its pad. So it's coming down. It feels like it's slightly in a different position to me now than what it was when it was doing it previously. So let's see. But yeah, I'll try and, you know, I'm trying to get as much footage for people, because I think a lot of the reasons why people want to buy this drone is based on the camera quality and the additional features that it gives you over the Mini 2. So I want to focus on the camera quality today, really, because we've already covered the tracking and the precision landing in a bit more detail. But okay, so it's coming down, it's moved over. Now that time it did switch off. That time it switched off. So as you can see, drone was all good. It's all good and fine. Okay, so right, basically we will put that down. I will basically now get the I will now get the Mini 2 out, and we'll see how we get on. Hiya, I've got the Mini 2 out now. Basically here we...
Point has been updated. Please check it on the map.
She always interrupts my videos. Yeah, so basically there we go. You can see on camera, real Mini 2, if you ever doubted it. And basically we're going to fly this one. Hopefully, it says GPS signal weak. Now it's come back, it's fine. Okay, so gonna have a look, just check our settings, make sure we're in video. Yep, we've got 4K 30. Storage is looking good, so we're good with that. Every other setting is in auto, so I'm going to turn that on. So it's a fairish comparison. Okay, so I do take off.
Take off.
Okay, right, so as before, just bring it up to the camera so you can see a bit of a difference. Look at the difference there. It is actually, in fact, I've customized this drone a little bit, so it will turn a lot slower. As I messed around with the kind of speed settings, so but as you can see, it's going round no problem. It's holding its position a little bit better than the Fimi Mini, so I'm going to sort of turn it towards where we were before. I'm going to take it up, and then we're going to go and have a look, basically get it up to a similar height, see what the picture quality is in comparison to the Fimi. So let's have a look here. So we're up at about 50 meters, it's about what we were before. So right, we're going to send it out over. Seems a noisier drone to me. I don't know, that just seems a bit noisier. So we're going to go out over the beach again, avoid people a little bit, although this drone is actually sort of under the weight limit. The other one's pretty close to the weight limit. So we're moving forward up the beach. It'll be interesting to see what the signal quality is like in comparison. So here we go, and of course this has got the bigger sensor. This has got a 1/2.3 inch sensor. The other one's got a 1/2.6 inch sensor. So that is a difference. So let's see how we get on heading towards. So we're getting a tilted horizon a little bit on the Mini here as well, because it's I think it's the crosswind basically that's coming across the beach here. So yeah, we're heading up the beach towards the pier again. We'll do exactly the same thing. We'll do a full turn around and then bring the drone back. But hopefully, basically, we're getting a good idea of what the footage quality is like between the two drones. Yeah, so it's heading up the beach, and up we go. So yeah, yeah, hopefully this is a fairish comparison. I mean, I had the Mini 2 longer, so have done more. There's definitely drifting across the beach, I would say. So it shows you how strong that wind is. So it's definitely drifting. So I was actually going up the, yeah, so if that's anything to say, that maybe the Fimi's got a better wind resistance there, I don't know really. So, but what we'll do is we'll bring it back down again as well. We'll do it 2 times and we'll see if we get a better comparison the second time. So we'll turn the heading out that way. It just felt like it was drifting across the beach a little bit there. So yeah, don't know what you make of that. I think I was holding it pretty steady going towards it, so yeah, that's definitely a bit odd compared to the Fimi. I didn't feel like the Fimi did that. I kind of went forward and it was holding its position. The wind might have picked up a little bit, that's possible. So kind of go near the pier, I think, and then I might just move over a little bit. And then just kind of spin round. Maybe try dropping the camera angle down a little bit, look around and have different views, but yeah, it seems to be spinning around and going okay. It makes your throat very dry out here. Right, okay, so of course I've got it configured to do a very slow sort of yaw, so right, here we go. Yeah, we're getting views over now. Let's try dropping the camera down, see what the picture quality is like between the two. There we go. So Cleethorpes there. It feels like it's more zoomed in and closer this time than it was before. Maybe back it off a little bit just to give a kind of, so I think that wind is probably pulling it in towards the seafront. But yeah, maybe we'll do another spin around and see. I'll bring the camera back up a bit and spin round and to give you some sort of idea, and then what I'll do is I'll probably bring it back and then I'll do the same thing again, and let's hope we get a straighter sort of line. But it did feel like the wind was pushing it across the beach to me. Let's see if that's the case. I'm going to drop this camera down. It's very hard for me to make out on my screen exactly, you know, what the sort of picture quality is like, because it's the kind of sun glare on it. So but yeah, it's looking good. I mean, we know that the Mini 2 doesn't have a bad camera. It should, on paper, have better picture quality than the Fimi. But I was very impressed yesterday in the park. So, you know, I was really surprised at how vivid the green and the blues in the sky were. It just looks so good. And you know, we've done a lot of videos in quite sunny places like Bulgaria, so you know, check out some of our other videos, but we have done videos in sunny locations, and yeah, I was so impressed with the picture quality. But if you check out some of our other videos, we do have like videos of the Fimi X8 SE out in Bulgaria, like kind of in quite high sunshine. So you know, I think for me, I prefer the colours on the Fimi X8 Mini. I've always quite liked the picture quality out of the Mini 2. We didn't have the Mini 2 when we were in Bulgaria. We came home to the UK before the Mini 2 came out. I think it came out like a few weeks after we got back. But basically, I think the Mini 1 always had nice colours as well. And compared with the Fimi, which you know, again, you used to get propellers in shot. There was a lot of issues around it. Right, I'm going to get this to return itself home now, so I don't have to constantly hold my finger in there. But yeah, so that will head back towards us now. But yeah, it just, for me, the issues with the Fimi X8 SE 2020, a lot of them have been solved. The propellers were always, always had problems with it in shot. I know on a windy day, maybe you'll get like propellers in shot because it's kind of swinging around. I mean, they're big, powerful drones, the X8 SE 2020. It's fast, it tilts up massively when it's in sports mode especially. You're gonna get, you are gonna get more movement and more sort of angle change. But I really used to have a problem with it, with the propellers getting in the shot a lot, and also like the propellers reflecting the sun onto the camera. And I've seen that with like the Mavic Pro, so I'm not saying it's only the Fimi drones, but the Mini 2 and the Fimi X8 Mini, I would say the Fimi X8 Mini has improved massively, unless the footage tells me something different when it gets back, when I get home tonight. I forgot to mention this yesterday, but I just didn't see any propellers in shot, and so for me, Fimi have done an amazing job to remove those propellers from the shot, because that was one of my big bugbears with the previous Fimi drones, so I'm really happy about that. It's telling me on the screen, over large bodies of water, pay attention to the drones altitude. It's like, yes, I know that you might crash into the sea. But I just wanted to, get that one out, actually, get that out, that I think that the Fimi, not having the propellers in shot, the beautiful colors off the camera, just feel to me like a really premium upgrade over the previous one. I just, all right, I've had issues with my compass, maybe I've got a bad model, a bad example, or maybe I've got firmware issues because I did do a firmware update. I know that other people say, oh, shouldn't do your firmware update when you're out and about. Yes, I didn't intend to do that. I got the drone out before I went out. I powered it up and made sure that I was up to date with the firmware. It didn't have an update. What happened was it then had, right, we're going to have to cancel the Mini, because the Mini, again, as you can see, doesn't have precision landing. You can see what happens there. It didn't do that, did it? So it was gonna, you can tell for certain it doesn't have precision landing. So, that's a real bugbear with the Mini 2, that it doesn't have this precision landing, but you can land it manually, of course. No, I was really impressed with the Fimi Mini yesterday, because of the fact the colors looked so great. Just everything looks so good. So what I want to do now is do this again with the Mini 2. But yeah, I mean, I think the Fimi, if I tried to do an update. But what happened was I did it in in my sort of little office back at home. I had the battery, I recharged the battery after I tried to do it. But basically I tried to do a firmware update, and the app said that there was no update, and so I was okay, that's great. And then when I got out to the place where I did the first video of it, it suddenly had an update, and it was showing up in the app, oh, there's an update. So I started that, and then I think it came out of the screen where it was downloading, and I thought, oh, okay, I just won't update it. And then it said, oh, do you want to update it? So I pressed update. And my fear was, and I don't know if this is the case, my fear was that the download had only partially completed, because I saw a message saying, oh, download not fully complete. Something to those effects. I didn't record, I wasn't recording it at the time, and so I wasn't sure what it actually said. But I didn't intend to do I have flown a lot of drones, I've done quite a lot of videos. I am aware that you don't want to be doing updates when you're out and about, but it kind of just happened on me, and I went through with it thinking, oh, because there was a panic. I thought, if I don't update this now while I'm out and about, maybe there's something critical in that update, because this is a brand new drone. They're probably saying, look, you need this update. Do you know what I mean? A bit like the DJI FPV drone. When that came out, you needed you needed to do an update before you could even fly it. Same with the Air 2S, I think. When I flew that, yeah, I did all that at home. I made sure I did it all, but the Fimi one didn't offer that. But I was very worried about flying without the update, because I thought maybe it's something very critical. you know, when it's the first few days, I think people are going to be going, yeah, we really need to do that update because, you know, somebody's had a catastrophic failure and contacted us. So so that was why I was so keen on doing the update out and about, which I wouldn't normally do. There we go. So I'm going to take off again. And I think what we're going to do is exactly the same thing again. So the spinning of the drone's a lot slower on mine because I've customized. What I was trying to do was you can kind of control the camera in return to home mode, and I was trying to make it like every mode would be almost like my own custom cinematic mode. And the reason I was doing that was because I wanted to kind of have it smoothly turning the camera as I was basically doing return to home, which you'll be able to see in a future video because I did that video and I just haven't edited it yet because a couple of like kind of major drone releases have come out, and so I needed to kind of switch my attention away from playing with the Mini 2 and get onto the Fimi X8 Mini and the Air 2S. So apologies that video isn't out yet, but I'm sure you're more excited to see these videos. So big crosswind again, we're seeing the tilt on the drone. There's definitely a wind coming across, and it's big enough to push the Mini over towards the beach there. So we're gonna see how we get on. We're going up. One thing I will say about that is, unless the wind has picked up significantly, it may have done. Kind of feels like it's a bit more than when we first came out. What I will say is that sort of says to me that the Fimi Mini can handle wind better than the Mini 2. Now that's just anecdotal. That's just me doing this today. It's not a scientific test, so it's possible. It's possible that it is doing a better job of the wind. I don't know, you know, than the Mini 2 did. But let's I think the wind has picked up a bit more. So I think the thing is to look at the footage, see what the tilt looks like. Apologies, very dry throat out here from the salty wind, I guess, that's coming in. Sorry about that. Yeah, basically it's definitely heading toward the beach again, more so than the Fimi did. Yeah, it's really pushing towards that beach. You have to be careful about, because the drones have a certain tolerance to the wind, and if it gets caught up in a very powerful wind that it can't cope with, your drone can drift away and you could lose your drone. So you know, you should check before you come out whether the wind is you know, good enough speed for you. But you know, like if it's past the maximum like kind of speed that this, you know, maximum wind speed that this drone can deal with, then you could have your drone drift off. So just be careful of that. So I think the shame is that it was quite, you know, I checked that and the wind was very low. We had very low wind at like saying 4 miles per hour, and it's not turned out to be the case at all, as it does with Britain really. But let's see how we get on. Let's see what you think of the footage that you're seeing, and let's see if it's helpful to you. One thing I'll say, I don't know if the battery's just a little bit better in the Mini 2. I think it's possible. I don't know, we're at 39%, but maybe we've had a bit more wind to fight. So I would hazard a guess that the Fimi battery is not quite as good as the Mini 2 battery, so be aware of that. Let's have a look over the pier. We've dropped the camera down slightly, so I've got my, that's another thing, that, you know, the smoothness of the gimbal moving up and down on the Mini 2 is not indicative of the Mini 2 in general. I've customized the settings on that, so please don't imagine that this that this drone is moving much smoother than the Fimi, because the Fimi can be probably set to do that. Rachel, I think, is having a fight with a dog over there. Sorry, got distracted by just don't want Emily getting eaten by a big dog really. But yeah, so I think, like, because I've customized the the smoothness of the gimbals, which I forgot about before I actually came out here. But yeah, you can customize the settings to make it smoother so it looks more cinematic. So, and that's actually a bit of a trick, I think, that a lot of drone kind of video, you know, when you see drone videos and they're really nice moving around, you think, oh, why do I never get it like that? That's because they've just customized the settings. So like I said, I've got a video about that coming up, so I will put that up as soon as I can, once I've kind of finished editing Fimi videos and that kind of stuff. So obviously this is the kind of hot topic at the moment. But yeah, I don't know if we're getting, maybe I lift the camera up a bit. See, so yeah, I've customized the pitch smoothness, the yaw smoothness, and it is like kind of moving quite nicely, this drone now. But yeah, I think that's a bit of a trick of people who do drone videos, that they really customize the settings. And although there are things like cine mode on the Mini 2, I still find them to be quite jerky. I don't think that they're good enough really for using really. They still seem very jerky compared to some of the lovely drone videos that you see where it's smooth turning and flying over a mountain or something, and they all just look really picturesque and scenic and cinematic. And right, okay, I'm going to get this to return home now to me, because we're getting quite near the end of the battery anyway now. So, but yeah, hopefully that's been useful to you. Unfortunately, we only have one Fimi X8 Mini battery. Pretty much everyone does, because you know, you were only able to get one battery with the drone. I don't know whether you could have ordered 2 drones, maybe that's the only way you could have got 2 batteries. But so although I've got more batteries for the Mini 2, I'm not going to fly the Mini 2. And also the sun, I don't know, the sun kind of went a little bit from time to time there, so I don't know if we'll get like an absolutely scientific comparison. But yeah, I'm sending the drone back now because its battery's getting near the end of it, so we're on about 25%. Ideally, you'd bring your battery back before like 20-ish%. Reason being is because it can damage your battery over the long term. The trouble with the Fimi Mini is that we've kind of had to push the battery because we have no real other choice, because we don't have any other batteries. So we're still waiting for that Pro battery. Again, please contact in the comments if you have any sort of madcap ideas about getting a LiPo battery into this Fimi. Is there any options? Can we do something? Can you reverse engineer that battery and make your own Pro battery? I'm fascinated to know. I'd love to understand that side of it. So, you know, while I've got people watching my videos, please put in the comments if you know. Well, hang on, cancel that. That's the other thing. You can't lose, like, you know, like attention on this drone, because without the precision landing, you really don't have a, you know, just get that over that way, move it back slightly. Oh, hang on. The wind is a little bit higher than when we first came out. Yeah.
Landing.
Tiny bit on the edge there, not too bad. Yeah, but it's a nice-ish day, but it's a little bit breezy. The wind gusts are probably a bit higher than what you'd like. In fact, you have to turn off the recording on the Mini 2. That doesn't happen on the Fimi. It turns it off for you, which can be annoying. I wish they'd give you a kind of setting. Maybe they have. I haven't seen it. But yeah, it's a nice day. It's not quite as nice as the days we had, like, you know, in the last 2 videos. Like I said, you know, the weather here is a bit changeable. You know, maybe, you know, maybe my sort of descendants will be able to do a video where the sun returns and it's warm again. We live in hope, so it's possible. But yeah, hopefully that was useful to you. Hopefully, looking at the difference between the Mini 2 and the Fimi X8 Mini, maybe you could take something from that, whether you prefer the camera on one or the other. I'm not sure yet, because I haven't been able to look at the footage in detail. When I edit this video, I'll see that footage and I can have a good look at it, see whether I prefer the Mini 2 still, or whether I like the Fimi X8 Mini. All I'm going to say is check out my previous video, because the previous video had I just thought the colours were stunning. I couldn't believe how nice it was looking in the it's the best I've ever seen the park in Bowlby looking. You know, it's not normally a beauty spot that people kind of rave about, but I really liked the colours next to the River Don. The greens were popping out, they were so lush green, and the blues were amazing, and even the houses and the kind of scrapyard next door was looking pretty good. So I was pretty impressed with the colours that we got in that video. So if you do have a chance, check out that previous video if you haven't already. But yeah, thanks very much for watching. I hope this was useful to you. I hope that helps you sort of, you know, if you're on the fence about the Fimi Mini, or even on the DJI Mini, because I think, be honest with you, I get both of them if I was you. If you can, get both. if you have to make a choice though, hopefully that video footage there will help you out in some way. So thanks very much for watching. Really appreciate you watching these videos. Thanks very much again for all the comments and all the help that you've given with these set of videos. But thanks very much. Thank you for watching. We'll see you again in the next one. Take care.